Good morning, degenerates, and welcome to a very sad and somber, boring Crypto IO episode where I read you the sad and somber, boring crypto news every morning just so you don't have to. My name is Not Important, and I'm your host. Let's unpack what the shit happened yesterday. Today's stories, guys, I'm sure we all know, Bitcoin literally fell off the rails, and the rest of the market went with it yesterday afternoon, evening, depending on where you're at on the globe. And we're going to do our best, like I said, to unpack it with a handful of articles that kind of touch on things that are rumored to have potentially caused the dip. So let's blow through those real quick. Before any of that, too, wow, get the words out of your mouth. The judge for the XRP case versus the SEC. Judge grants SEC request to file a motion for appeal in Ripple case. We're going to see what this means. What I'm gathering and what I've been seeing is that this just means that they're allowed to ask for appeal. That doesn't mean the judge is granting them the ability to even appeal. The judge still has to do that. This is just allowing them to walk up to the judge and present their case. Say, hey, we want an appeal. So we'll see. I guess that's what I've been hearing. We'll read Darkness, see what it says. Outside of that, it's not that important. I mean, it's important, but not as important as what happened yesterday. Moving on with the articles. Why did Bitcoin drop? Analysts point to 5 potential reasons. We're going to go through that. Part of those 5 potential reasons are going to be in the other articles that I've pulled up. Again, I'm really just trying to dissect and dig deep into what potentially happened. SpaceX wrote down $373 million worth of Bitcoin back in 2022. Report says one of the rumors that happened is that supposedly SpaceX sold all of their Bitcoin holdings yesterday that were roughly close to $400 million, and that is a potential fear of what caused the crash. This article right here: Bitcoin crashes down below 25,000 after Elon Musk SpaceX sells all Bitcoin holdings. And then here, Evergrande, China property giant, files for U.S. bankruptcy protection. So I guess, as well as yesterday, this is another thing that people are potentially saying what caused a dip is that Evergrande filed for bankruptcy, and we're going to try and dig into that. Again, I don't know if any of these are why Bitcoin dipped. I mean, we've been riding that line sideways action for quite some time. We definitely expected something to happen. We didn't know if it was going to be the upside or downside. With that being said, I know I left you guys with a bit of hopium yesterday, and that was just because I was looking at charts and saw something could potentially be hopium for a bullish momentum to the upside. And this is why I tell you to always prepare for up and downside momentum. We're going to talk about that on the charts here in just a second. I almost wish I didn't see those green dots on the RSI, on the market cipher, because it definitely put me in a mindset of maybe we could pump to the upside, and I should have stuck to my guns, looking at what we were looking at, knowing that it was going to go down. And we definitely reached the levels that I was talking about and went further. We're going to touch on that, but let's just look at the red market real quick before we get deep into it. Yeah, a little bit of a different style today, guys, because there's a lot to unpack. So just bear with me. We're going to get through it, and hopefully we'll have a little bit of insight as to A, what happened, and hopefully B, have some light at the end of the tunnel to get us out of here. So with that being said, current market cap, guys, sitting right at 1.06 trillion. We are getting close to being under 1 trillion, which we haven't been under 1 trillion in quite some time. Entire market down 6.12%. Bitcoin dump sitting at 48.5%. ETH dumps at 19 flat. Gwei sitting at 23. Get you that ETH transaction. And we have finally had some movement in the fear and greed index. We were sitting at 37 in the fear zone. Guys, if there was ever a lesson that I could beat into your heads, and I know this sounds cliche as shit, buy when most are fearful and sell when most are greedy, or however that phrase goes, or the original terminology that phrase is. These are the times you start looking for plays. You start looking for bags to develop and hold. That doesn't mean deploy all your capital all at once. Trust me, I've got some bags, and my bags aren't hurting too bad. The reality is, I was buying at these levels when they were at these levels, I don't know, months ago. I have not been buying too much with this run up. I was happy with where my positions are at. I did actually yesterday, or day before yesterday, excuse me, with that small dip before we just completely let go. The day before yesterday, so on Wednesday, I did load up a little bit more on INJ and Cardano. So that hit me a little bit, but nothing too big. I mean, we're talking like $400 or $500 here and there. Nothing like significant. I mean, Cardano at 27 cents is like, oh yeah, why not throw a couple $100 at it? Why not? So sorry, I know I'm all over the board today. There's just a lot going on. So again, before I go into before I get into the market, these are the times we're looking for buys, guys. And I know it's scary, I know it's rough, but if you believe in crypto and you believe that we're eventually going to get out of this rut, which I do, I would be doing this channel or putting, mine and my lady's life savings into this market if I didn't believe we were going to get out of this eventually. But these are the times. Like these are the times. Look, and I know I'm rambling a lot, and I apologize for it too much. And I probably should. If you're here, you know what's going on. With that being said, these are the times that 2 to 3 years from now, people look back and be like, "Man, you're a genius. Man, you're a genius." When we see all these people that basically make it in crypto, that change their lives in crypto, and they're going, "What did you do? What'd you do?" This is all you did. You just bought at these levels. And I don't, again, like I said, I'm not saying deploy every single cent that you have, but these are the times to start scaling in 100%. Bitcoin below 25K. Yeah. Throw a little bit of money in the market. Could we go lower? Absolutely. Like without a question. We all know this. But the odds eventually of making a gain out of this are more in your favor. It's really that simple. So let's go, guys. Sorry. I'm going to do my best to not ramble, but whatever. All right. Bitcoin, guys, is currently sitting at 7.08% down in a 24-hour, dropped almost 10% yesterday. Ethereum 5.54. Tether looking great in the green. I'm an idiot. Let's look at some of the big ones. Let's look at who got their butt handed to them most. CFX 16.36. SEI, we know that. That's, what was that, 15 cents now? Might be a potential time to get in. It actually looks like it's holding pretty good based off of all the nonsense that happened yesterday. XRP, ouch, 13.34% on XRP. Litecoin 13%, ApeCoin 13, AR 12.54, Bitcoin Cash. So yeah, guys, anywhere from 16s down to the 10s to the 5s. What I do want to show you, which is very intriguing to me, because I got a decent bag. Look at INJ. Injective dipped like the rest of it and then bounced right the F back up. And you know what sucks? This is what really sucks. I'm a lazy guy. I onboard through Coinbase. I know. I mean, it's just the easiest way for me to do it. I onboard my fiat through Coinbase, and sure as shit, nothing's changed. It has been like this since 2017, and it has continued to always be like this. Anytime the market gets volatile and you try and do something on Coinbase, be prepared to get the door shut in your face. I was like, I saw this get down to like I think it was like 670. Let's go ahead and let's look at INJ real quick. INJ, during this dip, yeah, 680. Oh man, I was all over trying to get money into this damn thing. And sure as shit, Coinbase would not let me buy. absolutely shut the door in my face. And by the time they came back on, we were right back up at 750. And I was just like, sweet. So stoked I missed that one. Yeah, man. Welcome to crypto, right? Anyway, that is that's that. INJ's kicking ass and taking names right now after that big dip. I mean, they have fully recovered. And I'm in INJ. I definitely am excited about that project. I think they're going to do well in the next cycle. I'm hoping for about a 20x where we're at right now. That's my fingers crossed. Let's go. You know, could they do more? I don't know. We'll see. I mean, they're still under 100 million market cap, which is, or excuse me, not 100 million. I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. They're at $500 million. I think they could get up there. They're a little over $500 million. I know people look at me like I'm crazy, but I'm looking for a 20x at INJ. Why not? Yeah, outside of that, guys, not much going on. Everybody's trying to recover. I'm just thinking while I'm looking at stuff, so not a lot of words coming out of my mouth, which is probably a good thing because I always mess up my words. But yeah, guys, let's go and look at Bitcoin, and we'll talk about levels. All right. So when I left y'all yesterday, we were doing this thing right here. We had touched that 28.13, which I told you was my no man's land, twice, which is also the bottom of that original descending wedge, descending channel, whatever you want to call it. And I told you if we lose this level, be prepared for a potential stop at 27,981. We'll just call it 28. So on the 1 hour, this played out to an extent. We dipped below it. We tried to get back up above it. We hit it twice as resistance. And when we lost this level, I told you, be ready for 27.5. Now look at this madness. We dipped on the 1 hour perfectly. That's my stupid little arrow. Oh, no, that's not an arrow. Anyways, right here. Right there. We dipped perfectly to 27.5 and got bought right back up. And I saw this and I was like, man, we hit it. We hit it to a T. And before all the crazy news came out, I thought this was going to be it. I was like, holy crap, there we go. We hit our 25. Let's throw some buyers in and let's be off to the races. And I think that was literally right before the Elon nonsense broke. So we hit the 27.5, got bought back up. I was hoping that this 27.594 would turn into support, and then we got this nonsense. And I was like, oh, well, I was wrong. But this was the flash crash basically after the Elon stuff. And I'm actually curious. Let's break down how long of a buyback we got before this giant Elon candle came in. So we got a good 45 minutes back above after the 27.5 hit. So let me see what 30 minute looks like. Not 30 hour. Hold on. Yeah, so we got a couple of candles. So again, the reason why I'm pulling this up, so it's not like, oh, to show you that I was right. It's not the point. What I want you guys to see out of all of this is watching levels, support and resistance levels. Go back in history and pull support and resistance levels and how important they are and how well they actually work, especially on something as large of an asset as Bitcoin in the crypto space. When you get into like DEX coins and things like that, this doesn't necessarily this doesn't work out as well. But in something that's as big and as psychologically charged as Bitcoin, if you go back in history and pull your support and resistance levels, you'll see how often they play out. So, you know, this 28413, which we rode around that area for a while. And then, which is interesting too, because this 28610, that's a buy order of mine, and I've said this a lot throughout the channel. And it's interesting, I literally picked this 28610 to buy into Bitcoin as a front run of this 28413 because I figured people would be trying to front run it. And this every time my point is, every time I try and buy at a level, I go, oh, that's the exact support level. We never touch it. We get just above it, and my buy order never gets filled. So after being in the market for quite some time, I always front run my support levels a little bit. And that's the only reason I have this 28610 up here. And it's interesting how heavy we rode that level as a support line. Anyway, moving on. But my original level was that 28413. So around there, we hovered, we dropped, we hovered at the 27918, or we'll call it 28, whatever you want to do. But that turned into resistance. It's on a 30-minute too, guys. So we're kind of really looking at how price action was going. We hit that 27.5, like I said, perfectly. Bounced a little bit and then lost everything. Now, while we're here on the channel, and I don't want to spend too much time on charts. I hate spending too much time on charts because this isn't a trading channel. I just like to show you guys what I look at, as well as this isn't financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm a terrible trader. Don't pay attention to me. I don't know what I'm doing. I want to see. Let's go back to see if a 12-hour will give us something. We are literally hovering right now at 26,414. I would like to see. Oh, well, check that out. Check that out. I'm just being stupid, guys. But look, what do we see here? Support, support, support. Even if we broke through it, support. I wonder why we stopped here. Trading, guys, look, oops, that damn pencil. Guys, trading can be super complicated, or it can be super simple. What does that show you? What it shows me is the bottom of this range right here, which will just drag out to the bottom of these guys, which was a box we had for a while. High, low, high, low, high, where, sideways action. The bottom of this range right here is where we just stopped at. So if we back out, let's do that. Let's get rid of these fucking, excuse my language. Guys, I cuss like a sailor. I do my best to try not to on this channel, but the reality is we're humans. We use words. And those are the words that I use quite frequently. Anyway. So zooming out, we're right back in this range. Now the question is, will it hold? Okay. If it doesn't, I'm looking for this 25,816, which again is just a buy order of mine, but it is looking like right here, right around here as another level of potential support. I'm looking for that to hold. If it does not hold, I mean, I'm saying back here in the 24.9s, 25s. I know on some exchanges, I use Bitstamp, but I know on some exchanges we wicked down to like 25.2, which is right here. But this is the next catch area I'd be looking for if we lose that 25,816. Potentially the top, we'll just say 25 even, and then maybe back up and around these ranges, so around 24.2. Support here before we took off, things like that. But to reiterate and to wrap it up, support and resistance levels, guys, especially on Bitcoin, they seem to play out quite frequently. And mind you, this was right around where we got that first triangle that broke us off into this crazy upward momentum of this downward descending wedge. So those are the levels I'm looking for, guys. Definitely that's 25,816. If we lose that, definitely going to be looking for 25 flat, somewhere around there. And then 24.2. And just to, here, we'll do this just for fun. And I've got too many GD lines on my, I know my shit's crazy. I'm a weirdo. All right, 25 flat. 24.2. Oops. 24.2. Support there. Support here, right? If we lose those, oof. I don't know, man. Honestly, I don't even want to dig into it. Don't want to dig into it. But just be prepared. Outside of that, guys, let's move on to the news. Let's do the Judge SEC stuff last. Let's just go ahead and dig into potentially why Bitcoin dumped. Let me take a sip of coffee. Because clearly this is going to be a long video today, guys, and I apologize. But this is what I do. I bring you the news. I try and inform you. Let's go. Why did Bitcoin drop? Analysts point to 5 potential reasons. Bitcoin's price fell approximately 8% in a span of 10 minutes, leaving crypto investors scrambling to make sense of the drop. Elon Musk SpaceX reportedly selling Bitcoin holdings. The bankruptcy of the Chinese property giant. The fears of the interest rate hikes have been among the theories. This is everything we pulled up that we were talking about. Raised as Bitcoin freak price dip. This isn't a freak price dip, guys. Go back in history. We've done this plenty of times. On August 18th, around 9:35 p.m. UTC, the price of Bitcoin suddenly plummeted over 8% in a span of 10 minutes, taking with it the wider cryptocurrency market, leaving many in the crypto community scratching their heads. Molly White, I don't know who she is. Maybe I'll look her up. The fuck was that? While there appears to be no consensus as to why the market suddenly dropped, several crypto market analysts have shared their intentional theories with Cointelegraph. SpaceX offloads Bitcoin interest rate fears. eToro market analyst Josh Gilbert pinned the drop on a report that SpaceX may have offloaded some or all of its $373 million in Bitcoin holdings, which came from an August 17th article from the Wall Street Journal. Whenever you have a big name in the industry selling Bitcoin, especially someone as influential as Elon, it will put the price under pressure. This would put the sudden price drop around 2.5 hours after the report was published online. News: somebody somewhere sold their Bitcoin at an unspecified time in the past. Market reaction. And I agree with this. This sentiment, so for me personally, I can't wait. I absolutely cannot wait for the day that the market doesn't S the D of Bitcoin. I'm not anti-Bitcoin by any means, but I'm so tired of any move in Bitcoin and the whole market loses its mind. It's absolutely insane. Now, I know people say that's because a lot of people run bots based off movements of Bitcoin, so the bots will sell if Bitcoin moves, etc., etc. But it's just like, I understand that that's a big part of it, but another big part of it is just people just being emotional, man. Let Bitcoin do what it's going to do. It doesn't need to affect the entire market. It's so crazy to me. All right. Gilbert said another theory could be the rapid shift in sentiment due to the broader markets. Expectations of futures interest rates hikes from the U.S. Federal Reserve. If we also consider some of the weaknesses we've seen across global markets, particularly risk assets over the last few weeks, with the expectation that rates will likely stay higher for longer, it was a recipe for a pullback, Gilbert explained. Bitcoin has struggled for a leg higher in the last month, trading in a tight range between 29 and 30K, with little good news to push the asset higher, which has only exuberated this sell-off, he added. Agreed. We've been talking about this. Government bond yields. Tina Tang, TT, a market analyst from CMC Markets, shared a different opinion, looking to the recent rise in government bond yields as a root cause behind the sell-off. Tang explained that the increasing bond yields typically show a reduction in liquidity for the broader market. This could be the primary reason that the cryptocurrency sank, she said. Additionally, Tang said that while the Evergrande crisis could have an indirect cause on the price of Bitcoin, she didn't believe that it was among the root causes of the decline. This has more of an impact on sentiment toward the Chinese economy and investors, she explained. Chinese yuan still at risk to Bitcoin. However, Tang disregarded the Evergrande crisis as a major reason for Bitcoin's price swing. Matrixport head of research Marcus Thielen claimed the risk of a Chinese yuan devaluation may have played a significant role in the sell-off. The biggest macro risk is a potential devaluation of the Chinese yuan, which is trading at the weakest level since 2007. Wow. In August 2015, when China devalued yuan for the last time, Bitcoin prices declined by 23% during the last 2 weeks following the devaluation. Before a more meaningful rally started, Bitcoin finished the year up 59% from the level of the devaluation, explained Thielen. Whales selling big. While there were many other news events that could bear responsibility, anonymous derivatives trader The Flow House told Cointelegraph that the sudden move down could have resulted from a single large actor making a big sell, which then resulted in further pressure on derivatives. It was not just a natural cascade. Well, obviously. Someone big bailed for a purpose and set it in motion. Spot volume barely compared to perps. According to the data from the crypto analytics platform CoinGlass, more than $427 million in Bitcoin long positions were liquidated in the 4 hours of time of publication. Over the course of the last 24 hours, there had been more than $822 million in liquidations for traders with open long positions. A bet that the prices of crypto assets would move upwards. Guys, if you are leverage trading, just be careful, man. I did a little bit of it in 2020, 2021. I did okay. Sometimes I got my ass handed to me. It's a great way to make quick capital if you know what you're doing, but it's just, for me personally, it's not something I would ever want to do long term. Get your money, get your capital, deploy it into something that's steady so you don't get liquidated, things like that. All right, moving on. Describing much of the explanation for the decline as pure speculation, Horst suggested that since the reports of the SEC hinting its approval of an Ethereum future ETF came moments after the dump, a large fund may have offloaded their Bitcoin position to trigger a cascade to buy ETH. That is also possible. Welcome to manipulation. Bitcoin has recovered slightly since the crash, gaining 1.2% in 2 hours according to the data from TradingView. At the time of publication, Bitcoin was changing hands at 26,619. We're at 26,395 right now, just under 200 and some change from this number. Its price seems to have been buoyed by news that the SEC may look to approve an Ethereum futures ETF product as soon as October. We shall see. All right. Moving on, SpaceX wrote down $373 million worth of Bitcoin back in 2021, 2022. Elon Musk announced in 2021 that SpaceX had some Bitcoin holdings following the SEC filing showing Tesla planned to purchase $1.5 billion worth of the cryptocurrency. Aerospace technology firm SpaceX reportedly wrote down the value of Bitcoin it owns by a total of $373 million last year and the year before, and may have sold all of its holdings. According to an August 17 report, the Wall Street Journal, SpaceX recorded $373 million worth of Bitcoin holdings on its balance sheet in 2021 and 2022, and has reportedly sold the cryptocurrency. It hasn't been confirmed, whether the entire $373 million stash was sold. SpaceX wrote down the value of the Bitcoin it owns by a total of $373 million last year and in 2021, and has sold the cryptocurrency, reported by the Wall Street Journal. The news outlet reportedly viewed documents on the firm's financial showings roughly $5.2 billion in total expenses for 2022 and $5.4 billion in 2021 and 2022 for acquiring property and equipment in addition to research and development costs. SpaceX CEO Elon Musk publicly announced in 2021 that the firm had acquired a certain amount of Bitcoin. This followed the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission filing showing Tesla, another company co-founded by Musk, planned to purchase $1.5 billion worth of the crypto asset. Sorry, my eyes are blurring. The announcement likely contributed to Bitcoin hitting a then all-time high price of more than $43,000. According to Tesla's second quarter 2023 earnings report, the firm had sold all but 184 million worth of its Bitcoin holdings. Tesla reported it had liquidated more than 30,000 Bitcoin in the second quarter of 2022 for $936 million, roughly 75% of its original 1.5 billion Bitcoin holdings. Musk, one of the richest people in the world, has often taken to social media to comment on certain cryptocurrencies, including Dogecoin and Bitcoin, even briefly changing Twitter's then Bluebird logo to the Doge Shiba Inu. Since his $44 billion purchase of Twitter, later rebranded to X in October 2022, he has suggested the platform could offer an entire financial world, including banking and payment services. Right. The timing of SpaceX's reported Bitcoin sale is unclear, but the crypto market experienced a significant crash in 2022 amid the collapse of major firms. We all know this, Terraform Labs. Many technology firms and financial institutions continue to hold Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. All right, moving on. And guys, like, before I finish these articles out, here's my honest opinion. I don't fucking have one. I don't. These are all speculative statements. We don't really know what may have caused the crash. And it's interesting that we're such emotional creatures that when something happens like this, we're always looking for why. Well, because somebody sold. and somebody sold a lot. And maybe not just one somebody. Several somebodies. A lot of somebodies sold a lot. And that caused the price to go down. And then more people saw that and sold. And so on and so forth. Humans, we're so emotional. But I don't know. I don't know if any of this is true. I mean, maybe I should. Fuck. But I don't buy or sell like this on super crazy Elon Musk emotional news. But I don't know. All right, I'm sorry. Moving on. Bitcoin crashes below 25,000 after Elon Musk SpaceX sells all Bitcoin holdings. Again, this is what I'm getting at. This is a Wall Street Journal, a paragraph in a Wall Street Journal post from what I was told. And it's not even like super clear, nor has this been confirmed. But every article is going to say that's exactly what caused the crash. Who knows, man? Bitcoin took a deep dive below $25,000 mark, rattling investors and traders following a revelation that Elon Musk's space exploration company SpaceX sold its Bitcoin holdings. The value of the leading cryptocurrency fell to a low of 24,711. What exchange had 24,711? Because on Bitstamp, we didn't even break 26K. Interesting. Anyway, sparking similar declines in Bitcoin's related stocks such as Coinbase, Marathon Digital, and Riot Platforms. Documents scrutinized by the Wall Street Journal unveiled that SpaceX has cleared out its Bitcoin holdings coming after marking down the value of its holdings for 2 consecutive years. 2021 and 2022, SpaceX wrote down the value of the Bitcoin it owns by a total of $373 million last year and 2021, and has sold the cryptocurrency, claims the Wall Street Journal report. Although the exact sum of the Bitcoin sold is undisclosed, financial documents revealed SpaceX's significant expenditure, approximately $5.2 billion in total for 2022, encompassing property acquisitions, equipment, and R&D cost. Notably, in 2021, Elon Musk made a public declaration that SpaceX possessed a certain Bitcoin quantity, devoting Tesla's announcements of its intent to procure $1.5 billion in Bitcoin. This maneuver notably buoyed Bitcoin to a then recorded peak of over 43,000. This is exactly what we're reading in the Cointelegraph report. Tesla and other Musk, this is almost like, did they copy each other? It's almost like an exact copy article. Tesla, another Musk-led venture, followed by a parallel trajectory of its Bitcoin holdings. By the second quarter of 2023, the electric vehicle giant financial statements displayed a retained Bitcoin value of only $184 million, signaling the sale of about 75% of its initial $1.5 billion stake. Real reason behind the Bitcoin crash. Here we go. This is probably going to be way over my head and super TA speak. Whatever. The real reason, because they know. Despite the media frenzy surrounding SpaceX Bitcoin sale, the actual impetus for the price crash appears rooted in the futures market. The market witnessed the largest futures liquidation cascade since FTX's rise, with Bitcoin long liquidations, amassing a staggering 386.68 million based on CoinGlass's data. Excuse me. Skew, a notable analyst in the crypto sphere, remarked on the abrupt market dynamics, Bitcoin open interest, and perp delta. Well, didn't expect this so soon, but very large rise in OI here. Bybit OI around June levels, and Binance perp delta hit highest sell data since June, local low, wild. CryptoCon's founder Ki Young Ju offered insight into Bitcoin price anomaly on Coinbase. Bitcoin price premium on Coinbase is up 3%. It's either 1, some whale entity dumped Bitcoin on Binance, or 2, Coinbase whales are buying the dip. Skew's subsequent comment hinted a strategic market play, or at strategic market plays by institutional entities. Considering the puke came from Coinbase spot market, Coinbase spot makes sense. Big firms would bid the pricing inefficiencies on Coinbase and then dump on Binance spot to profit the price difference. Which is also, I noticed too, bounce between Coinbase and Binance, there was huge price discrepancies, not only on Bitcoin, across the board. I was looking at FET. FET was like 16 cents on Binance and was like 19 cents on Coinbase. Yeah, I was gonna say there was almost like a $1,000 discrepancy or $2,000 discrepancy on Bitcoin between Binance and Coinbase. Me and some people were talking about it. It's very interesting. Markets in the big boy sandbox now. Okay. At press time, the Bitcoin price stood around 26,400 and saw a slight recovery above the 200-day EMA. And in the best case of the uptrend line at 28,400 would be a reaction that the bulls want to see. Yeah. All right, moving on. Evergrande. This is another one that people are saying that potentially crashed the market. Evergrande, China property. I'm looking at charts while I'm supposed to be reading, guys. Sorry. Evergrande, China property giant files for U.S. bankruptcy protection. Property giant Evergrande has filed bankruptcy protection in the U.S. as a real estate crisis in China deepens. It will allow the heavily indebted company to protect its assets in the U.S. as it works on a multi-billion-dollar deal with creditors. Evergrande defaulted on its huge debts in 2021, which sent shockwaves through the global financial market. The move comes as problems in China's property market add to concerns about the world's second largest economy. China Evergrande Group made the Chapter 15 bankruptcy protection filing in a New York court on Thursday. Chapter 15 protects the U.S. assets of a foreign company while it works on restructuring its debts. Evergrande did not immediately respond to a request for comment from the BBC. The group's real estate unit has more than 1,300 projects in more than 2,800 Chinese cities, according to its website. Its other businesses include an electric car maker and a football club. Whoop-de-doop. Evergrande has been working to renegotiate its agreements with creditors after defaulting on its debt repayments. With debt estimates to total more than $300 billion, it was the world's most heavily indebted property developer. Its shares have been suspended from trading since last year. Evergrande revealed last month that it lost a combined 581.9 billion yuan, about 80 billion US, over the last 2 years. Last week, another major Chinese property giant, Country Garden, warned that it could see a loss of up to 7.6 billion for the first 6 months of the year. Some of the biggest companies in China's real estate market are struggling to find the money to complete developments. Dude, who wrote this article? Is it BBC? It's like a 5th grader wrote this with all these little breaks and paragraphs. This is freaking weird. Some of the biggest companies in China's real estate market are struggling to find the money to complete developments. The key to the issue is to complete unfinished projects because this will at least keep some of the finances flowing, said Steve Cochran of economics research firm Moody's Analytics. He added that many homes are pre-sold, but if construction stops, buyers no longer make mortgage payments, which puts more strain on the developer's finances. Guys, do some research back in 2008 of all the builders that got left with their pants down, that were breaking ground and got SOL. It's kind of what this reminds me of. Earlier this month, Beijing said that China's economy had slipped into deflation as consumer prices declined in July for the first time in more than 2 years. Weak growth means China is not facing the rising prices that have rattled many other countries and prompted central bankers elsewhere to sharply increase borrowing costs. The country's imports and exports also fell sharply last month as weaker global demand threatened the recovery prospects of the world's second largest economy. Official figures showed exports fell by 14.5% in July compared with a year earlier, while imports dropped 12.4%. Earlier this week, China's central bank unexpectedly cut key interest rates for the second time in 3 months in a bid to boost the economy. Not looking good macro, guys. Anyway, we're going to hit this last XRP judge SEC bullshit. But that's what they're saying, man. They're saying that's why this dipped. So, we shall see what will happen. Yeah, guys. Watch this range. Watch this purple box. Roughly right around... Sorry. We'll call it 26.3 as the bottom of this range. We lose this range. Prepare for these next 3 levels. Last story. Judge grants SEC request to file a motion for appeal in Ripple case. The SEC has until August 18th, today, what the shit, to officially file its motion. Oh, I don't trust anything. This seems shady. Sorry. I say sorry too much. Someone slap me. And the defendants will have until September 1st to respond. Judge Analysts has granted a request from the United States Securities and Exchange Commission to file a motion for leave to file an interlocutory appeal in its case against Ripple Labs. The security regulators sent a letter to Torres on August 9th saying her decision could affect multiple pending court cases. According to U.S. law, an interlocutory appeal occurs when a ruling by a trial court is appealed while other aspects of the case are still proceeding. The decision allows the SEC to file a motion by August 18th, today, requesting permission to bring a case to the U.S. Courts of Appeals for Second Circuit. Ripple will also be able to file an opposition to the motion. The decision comes just a few hours after Ripple Labs voiced opposition to a potential appeal in the case. Ripple's lawyers put forth 3 main arguments in opposition to the SEC's request. They first argued that an appeal requires a pure question of law and that the SEC's request raises new legal issues that need to be reviewed. They also argued that the SEC's claim of an incorrect court ruling on the matter is not sufficient and that an immediate appeal will not advance the termination litigation proceedings. Yeah, there's Brad Garling. I was talking about it, and Stuart Alvarado, who is their head legal. Torres ruled on July 13th Ripple's native XRP token is not a security when distributed in public sales, but the ruling considered XRP as security in institutional sales. So here's my piece on this before we finish this article, because it's kind of like a nothing burger. If you guys are holding XRP, do not lose your minds over this. They've already ruled that secondary sales of XRP are not a security. They cannot change that. What they're trying to do now in this appeal is potentially set a structure for other cases. This is my opinion. Who the hell am I? Fucking nobody sitting in a room making YouTube videos. But they're trying to set a precedent and a framework for any other case they bring for the original sales, for the VC sales, the ICOs, things like that went down. And what I think they're trying to do is, like I said, set up that framework so any other case that goes to court, they have some way to get some money out of them, right? And with that being said is they're probably going to try and get XRP to settle because they quote unquote sold a security during the initial investment period. So when XRP pays, that's kind of like, let's say I mean, it's just a random arbitrary number. Let's say XRP settles for 10 million. Well, there you go. You have your number. You have your precedent. So now the SEC can move forward and go, okay, all these cryptos that we're saying are securities. Cool. You're not a security now because you're being sold in retail, but you were, and we're gonna hit you with this fine of whatever, $10 million. And so everybody will settle out for $10 million. That is the vibe I'm getting. That's what I think they're doing here. Again, I could be wrong. I ain't that smart. But this is not going to affect XRP one way or another when it comes to the price, when it comes to the project, when it comes to your tokens on exchanges, any of that shit. So don't let this freak you out. The case against Ripple has been ongoing since December of 2020, when the SEC issued Ripple and its two chief executives, Brad Garlinghouse and Chris Larson, over allegations the company was offering an unregistered security. In a recent interview with Bloomberg, Garlinghouse shared his belief that the SEC would face a lengthy appeals process. As a matter of law, the law of the land right now is that XRP is not a security. It's exactly what I just said. Until there is an opportunity for the SEC to file an appeal, which would take years, frankly, we are very optimistic. He noted, according to Garlinghouse, an appeal against the retail sales ruling would only further solidify the decision that Torres made. Again, I do not think this is what they're going after. I think they're going after appeal to try and get some kind of settlement on the back end for the initial sales. Could be wrong, but that's where my head's at. All right, guys, that is it. Very long video. I apologize, but there was a lot to unpack. This is Bitcoin 12. Let's go back to the 4 and see what we're looking at. See what kind of movements we're looking at. I mean, it looks like we're finding a bottom. Obviously we're insanely oversold. Don't be surprised if we do dip more, but we may be finding a bottom. Take your time, be patient, stop losses, guys. Nothing new here. Be smart about your trading. And outside of that, guys, if you do enjoy the content I provide here for you every morning on Boring Crypto.io, please by all means subscribe to the channel. Turn on that bell for notifications. Watch the videos, like the videos. Please share the videos on all your social platforms. Guys, I'm here for you. I'm just trying to get you the news. I'm just trying to get you more awareness of what's going on in the space, so you don't have to dig this shit up yourself. I wish I had a channel like this when I first got into crypto. So let's grow. We're at 111. I think we could do better. And if I'm doing anything stupid that you don't like, let me know. If you hate me, by all means, let me know. I don't care. We'll talk. We'll have a conversation. We'll be friends. I guarantee it. Outside of that, guys, I'll see you bright early Monday morning. Go enjoy your weekend. Stop looking at the charts. Go touch some grass. Go hang out with your family. You got kids. You got a wife. Or you got a husband. Vice versa. Go say hi to them. Go take them out somewhere. Let the charts cool off. There will always be another trade. There will always be another setup. Crypto ain't going nowhere. Again, I'll see you bright early Monday morning. I'm out of here.